What is up, everybody? This is Sam from Cinema 3D, and today I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. So, in an age we are living where a lot of nostalgia from the 80s and 90s seems to be extremely prevalent, with us just getting the Super Mario Brothers movie, the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and now, of course, leading us into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, which seems to happen pretty often, a lot more than most properties from that era. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles really isn't just from the 80s, it's from 80s, early 2000s, late 2000s. Pretty much every generation gets their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and now with this movie, a new generation has brought the Turtles. Since the Turtles have been purchased by Viacom and Nickelodeon, I've noticed that we've got some products that were fantastic and some that were kind of a miss. A big part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is getting them right, those four characters. And in terms of the first thing they did when they got the series, the Michael Bay films, I believe, was the first thing they did. I saw that in theaters 9 years ago, and I just did not care for that. I do not believe they got the Turtles' characteristics down, or at least they didn't utilize the characters enough to where it's a story about four brothers, not just about April O'Neil and using Megan Fox, but that one just was a complete miss for me, and the overall design of the Turtles, I was not a fan. But then the original series from Nickelodeon was great, and it got the Turtles right, showed them in sort of a younger light, which was needed, and I feel like it was actually a good base for what they did with this new movie. And then Rise of TMNT, I'm not a fan of that. That can be talked about another time, but yeah, anything that changes the Turtles' dynamic and personalities like that just shouldn't really, you just can't. I mean, there's rules, it's Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines, Raphael is cool but crude, and Michelangelo's a party dude. If you just follow the lyrics of the songs, you can't really go wrong with these characters.
Now, you can have your very own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Attack! By collecting fun-filled, action-packed video adventures from Family Home Entertainment.
So I've been a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan for literally my entire life, growing up originally with so many VHS copies of the 1987 cartoon, watched that like pretty much as often as I watched anything, and then also growing up with the 390s films, loved especially the original one. I still think that's probably one of the best and most accurate comic book movies made, especially when it comes to just getting a series and getting it characters right. That one really nailed it. And then, of course, I watched the 2003 series on 4Kids all the time, and loved the Nickelodeon series. As I said, just feel like I got those characters down perfect. So, been a Ninja Turtles fan for a long time, read the Mirage comics as well. So I feel like when I don't see these characters done right, I take it personally. I want to see them done justice. I think they're great characters. I think they are good for every generation. I think all different type of kids can relate to a turtle. Everybody has their own favorite one. Growing up, my favorite was Donatello, but in recent years, starting to become a little bit more Leonardo. I don't know, kind of riding that Donnie Leo fence type of thing. But yeah, I was stoked for this movie as soon as it was announced, and I saw the art style, saw what they were going for. A huge Seth Rogen fan. He makes some of my favorite comedy movies of all time. Do a mean Seth Rogen laugh impression. So when this was announced, yeah, I was super stoked to see where he was going with it, and how he talked about the one element he found that was missing in a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the actual teenage aspect. And I think, I think the Nick show, the original one, not Rise of TMNT, did really get that element well. But of course, Seth Rogen's relating it to what he grew up with Ninja Turtles. So he's talking about the 80s, he's talking about the 90s series as well. And for the most part, there were some elements where they felt like teenagers, but it wasn't truly fully there. Not like this movie. I mean, this one is just like, take Seth Rogen's type of genius writing with Superbad, and then his film, I believe it's called The Boys, and apply that to this, and they just, the Turtles felt like teenagers. Just to get right into it, this movie automatically already met my one benchmark for what is truly a great Ninja Turtles movie, and that is getting the four brothers right and also showing the relationship and the dynamics that they have. And this movie did that. So right off the bat, gets points from me, a couple pizzas thrown its way, just because they really did nail all four brothers. I didn't have a complaint with any of them. Leo felt like Leo, Donnie felt like Donnie, Mikey was fun, goofy, the innocent, Raph felt like Raph. They just nailed all of the characters so well. I noticed, I think maybe Leonardo was my own personal favorite in this one from the way he was shown. Just felt very Leo, but they really didn't miss at all on any of these characters. This movie, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it does initially, it's telling that first turtle story, and that's what we see in almost every pilot of every show, every one of the first movies, and that is the turtles emerging from the sewers, meeting April O'Neil, and learning what it means to be a hero. That's kind of your turtle origin story in almost every scenario, and this movie did that story, and I won't spoil it, but we can tell from the trailers those are the threads it meets. Loved the character of April in this one. Felt like she could really relate to the turtles in this. Really added a lot of element beyond just being the human friend they meet, but just a huge dynamic in the overall story and helping them grow, and they help her grow and well in the process. So loved April, loved all the characters, honestly. One small complaint I would say was they do one thing to the Turtles' origin story that I wasn't a big fan of them changing, but again, it's nothing that takes you away from who the characters are, just a few small details here and there, but nothing too bad. Villain in this, loved, played by Ice Cube. He was probably one of the biggest takeaways from the film, along with the voice of all four of the Ninja Turtles. I mean, they were just perfect. These kids nailed those parts, but definitely Ice Cube as Superfly had me just dying in the theater. This movie hit with the comedy. It hit with the comedy, hit with the action, hit with the emotion. I think this is a film for all ages easily. Definitely one that kids will go and see and then will, re-fall in love with Ninja Turtles for a new generation. But then also, if you grew up with Ninja Turtles, like Seth Rogen did, this was a great film. Truly honored the characters, truly got that first story great, overall great origin story, overall great animated film. Love that Spider-Verse kind of design. Really felt like like the Ninja Turtle type of look with the comics, with the way the brick was in the sewer, and just the overall aesthetic. Very pleasing to look at the whole movie, and really just fit the Ninja Turtle style all in all. All in all, I say you definitely go and check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, especially if you are a fan of the series, especially if you have kids. Either one of those combos makes for a great movie. Seth Rogen knocked it out of the park. He got the characters, and he nailed what a Ninja Turtle movie should be. I'd be hard-pressed to find which one this really competes with in terms of Ninja Turtles movies, because I don't really have any complaints with it. I'd say, the 1990 movie is kind of your staple for what Ninja Turtles are. It pulls from Mirage Comics directly, really just captures the Ninja Turtles in their truest form. But in terms of a modern reboot and what this does, have no complaints with it. Really loved it, and this is definitely a movie that is going in my collection. So what I want to ask you guys is, who is your favorite member of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and what is your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adaptation? Whether that's animated show, movie, comic, whatever it is, please comment below, and we will see you guys next time.